Hi, my name is Alesha Tryed and I'm a drag artist. Not a joke, just a fact.
I was born on the 13th of the 2nd, 96, Megami a Gemini, and I'm Rob.
Hi, and I tried to flirt with the priest, but he said it was just too sexy. Bondi.
And I hope you're ready for episode 8 of your new favourite show, 2.5 Queens! Period.
Hello, and thanks for joining us for episode 8. I can't believe we're at 8 already. Of 2.5 Queens, the show where we talk about everything RuPaul's Drag Race UK Series 2.
On today's episode, we'll be going into the stand-up comedy challenge, a first for UK Drag Race, and it was the comedy challenge about love.
And we're down to 5 already. The numbers are dwindling. We're getting ever closer to the end. Are you okay? That not a nice drink?
I'm going to power through it.
So on last week's episode, we lost Sister, and oh brother was it sad, but we got to keep Taste around. Now, it's basically deja vu in the workroom as we come back this week, and it's just let's attack Ellie beginning.
Yeah.
Where I don't know why they make a point every episode now of picking out a weakling. It's happened like every week since we've came back.
Agreed.
Why is this the now ongoing conversation of you're the weakest?
Yeah, they're setting it up for the week. They're just being like, okay, so who do we want to go this week? Ellie Diamond. Okay, great. Everybody make her feel horrible so she'll do a bad week.
Yeah, I think that, and Ellie sees it as well, which
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
And it was a thing to do to shit on Tia.
Yeah.
It was like a universal thing to do, and I think Ellie's now seeing what they were probably doing to Tia the whole time, and she's like,
Hold on a minute. Yeah, she's had enough. And just like Tia, Ellie's standing up for herself.
Yeah.
Which is iconic.
and we love to see it.
We love to see it.
Now, let's go straight ahead to this week's mini challenge, which is quite an odd one. Ru enters the room in a wig that is nowhere near as nice as his yellow one. The iconic yellow wig.
Come back. I want to talk about drag kings.
Let's do
Yes,
it. A
okay.
fair conversation.
I think this is a conversation we have to have. Now, I think, from seeing a lot of drag kings on social media and stuff, drag kings aren't gagging at the bit to be on RuPaul's Drag Race because it's a platform that has not catered for them in the past and they feel disillusioned by it. And I completely understand that. For Drag Race to exclude drag kings for, nearly 20 seasons of a show and then bring them on as a mini challenge just for a gag and a kiki, they did it in season 10 as well.
Yeah.
It just feels a bit, it's like, why is that valid drag for a challenge, but it's not valid drag to bring on as a competitor on a show?
I agree, because Ru seems really entertained by it.
Yeah.
Like, this is, like, as you said before, it's not the first time we've had a challenge where they have to dress up as males and sort of make a joke of it. And Ru gets, like, a kick out of it. So it seems really sort of, something isn't matching up. If you're getting that much of a gag out of people dressing up as men, then, you know, you might actually get a gag from the drag kings.
What's not clicking?
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
And for what it's worth, I hated this mini challenge.
Yeah, me too.
Because they are not drag kings. Like, that's just not what they do.
Yeah.
So it was people doing a really bad impression of masked men. But
I did love Ahora's, I promise I've never heard of Lady Gaga.
I loved that. Some of the ad-libs were fun. But
Yeah.
I love you, Cheryl.
and Bimini not knowing the words at all to Kitty Girl.
But the winner of this week's challenge was Ellie Diamond. Why? To fuck with everyone's head. Was there a winner?
No.
No.
I mean, Ellie was funny because the outfit was like very new romantic kind of thing, and she hammed it up like she did in the main challenge, which we'll get onto later. So it wasn't like Ellie was a bad winner, but it was definitely a choice.
We're all just having a bit of fun and stuff like that. So I think it was one of those mini challenges that's really just to set up the main challenge.
Yes.
Very that. And lead us into the next hour of the show it did, because that was the centrepiece for all of the drama. Now, this week's Maxi Challenge is a stand-up comedy set. Because of Ellie winning the mini challenge, she won the power to pick the order at which they would go in the comedy challenge. A very common thing to win, you know. I think that's quite a routine
fair challenge.
thing.
Yeah,
you know,
fair win.
Happens quite often. And Ellie's order, she chose for Horror to start, to be followed by Ellie Diamond herself, then Mimini, then Lawrence, and Taste to close.
Wow.
Fireworks.
I was very tased watching it, and I know that. Did any of you feel that Lawrence or Ahura had a right to be aggrieved?
What really set them off was almost Ellie's unapologetic behaviour.
What it was Ellie's full confidence in saying, "You're doing this because you fucked me over, and you're going to get it back."
And
double
not
time.
backing down to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they hated it. They hate to see it. So I loved it.
Yeah.
I was gagging. I was very tased.
Would you say that being strategic this late in the game is something you need to do?
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
She said it herself, she hasn't won a challenge yet. So if you can give yourself any push in the right direction, even if this just helped to push Ellie into third this week instead of the bottom two, it is a strategy worth taking.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that she wasn't disingenuous about it. She said,
Agreed.
"This is what I'm doing. Like it or lump it."
I did think though, when the girls were grilling, she was kind of like,
Cracking.
she was cracking under pressure, especially when the grilling came from Lawrence. Somebody, I assume, out of Drag Race, they were quite close sisters.
Yeah.
So to have that sort of confrontation would probably go, oh, like, okay. So I think that really tried to knock Ellie, and it was kind of like a kind of clever technique from Lawrence.
I mean, the whole thing just reeked of insecurity.
Yeah.
That's what it all came down to. I think if we're being honest, it didn't fuck Lawrence over at all to be fourth, and it did fuck Ahura over. I understand Ahura not being happy about it, but it was a lot of insecurity speaking. What, are you okay?
I just went.
Are you blowing bubbles?
I just went. And I wasn't even drinking. I went,
Drink that air, drink that oxygen.
Very Courtney act. Who realistically came out of this best? Bimini. Because in my opinion, Bimini basically got asked one question of, "Are you happy?" And she went, "Yeah, kill it wherever I am."
Yeah.
And that really just separated the difference between the people in the competition who have still got their heads screwed on, aka Bimini and Taste,
Yeah.
and the people in the competition who are cracking.
You're getting close to the end now, like that. It's literally like, for them, weeks until the final. So everybody is public enemy number one at this point.
In filming terms as well, think of their minds. They're days away from that final.
But another thing they spoke about is like Ahura and Tace's friendship, because so far most of what's been made of it is like this, sitting on Tace's face,
Dirty.
Lawrence's pecker going. It's all
Yeah.
very dirty, but really what has actually happened is, did you just smack yourself in the face with the fan?
Yeah, I did.
You've got to have a good wrist.
You've got to have a good wrist.
It was nice though.
Yeah, it was lovely.
We don't give a shit.
No, we do, and it is really lovely to see people getting along, because this show focuses so much on shade.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that this show has brought two people together and now they're housemates.
I mean, yeah, we don't like each other at
So,
all.
Yeah.
Cute, but I also had a feeling when this was going on, I was like, I wonder why they're talking about horror and taste.
Producer was like, right, need this
The
in.
cogs were whirring of a producer's head at this moment. They were like, oh my god, let's just give these two a really cute moment before we fuck them over.
Yes.
No. Ah!
Never mind.
I have actual balls here that aren't tucked, to be fair, neither are yours. Let's hit the runway! RuPaul's wearing a gold dress, which is nothing new, but I mean, hey.
We requested the gown, we got 2 gowns in a row.
We got what we asked for.
Yeah.
Are we tired of gowns now?
We had mint green last week, and then we had gold this week.
Yeah.
I don't know. Next
She's
week.
copying us.
Next week, she's probably doing what I'm doing and just.
She's copying us. You heard it here
Yeah,
first.
because
RuPaul inspired by Alesha Tryed and Bondi.
We did mint green the week before, then we did gold, didn't we?
Can't wait till she's wearing a shake and go wig next week.
That's my wig. You slag. You absolute slag.
I brushed it.
She brushed it with a fucking garden rake. Do we have time to care about RuPaul when we are in the presence of Dame Dawn French?
Icon, legend, star, the moment, amazing, brilliant, show-stopping.
Never the same, totally unique.
I would say
another club.
she is my second favourite Dawn after Dawn the disc jockey from X Factor.
So tired of broken hearts.
Yeah, I've got 3 Dawns in my life, so there you go.
This game.
I'm gonna be Danny, that's just gonna start fake laughing for attention.
I wasn't expecting that at all!
All the boys!
So let's get the comedy challenge going.
Let's get this roaster cooking.
Now, I just want to start this before we even get into it by saying I think this was a terrible idea.
Yeah, me too.
Because a comedy challenge without actual guests just doesn't work.
The air was so dead.
I want to know whoever thought this was a good idea with blow up dolls really should have just evaluated.
Your mum's at home.
Your mum's at home.
Probably the same people who are picking the lip sync choices this season.
So what was your feeling of Ahura? She was first up.
Ahura tried her very best, and I got where Ahura was coming from.
Yeah.
I got the angle she wanted to go with, and I think if she'd landed it a little bit better, it would have been very funny. Some of it was funny, most of it wasn't.
Talking of gaping arseholes, like, what was your real opinion though?
What do you mean?
He's saying that you've got a fucking chum bucket.
I have a hoop.
And I hope.
Do you think it was too crude?
No.
Do you think they were exaggerating?
I don't think it was too crude. It could have just done with ebbs and flows.
It could have done with a bit of an edit, because I think that should have been nipped in the bud at the start. Because as funny as it is, it takes the air out of the room, and that's not what you want on stand-up, is it? You don't want people to still be thinking about a joke that you told 5 minutes ago.
Because they're just in shock.
You want a few gasp moments, you want a few laugh moments. There needed to be an assortment of sexual jokes, and then some fun, and then just like, it just needed to be sprinkled with something else other than crude. But I get that it's a go-to for someone who's never done comedy.
So, next up to the stage was Ellie Diamond.
Who set the order for the night.
Or should we say, Big D!
I think having a character kind of can give you somewhere to go. If you've got a character.
We've seen it done well, Coco.
Coco. Coco embodied the character though. Coco was the character. This was almost like it was
It was like watching someone do someone else's character.
Yeah, so playing a character can be quite difficult, you know, but I must say, I was honestly RuPaul in this, where I was just kind of like, I was almost looking at myself from the outside, wondering what I was viewing.
This is what you would do on the comedy challenge. It is what you would do.
Yeah.
It
absolutely is!
Dick! Ellie Diamond loves dick! Alesha Tryed loves dick, so you know what? That's fine.
Does that sound like something you want? Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
Does that sound like something you want?
Yes.
Well, let me tell you, you'll never get it.
I think I realised I was laughing at the gaps in silence more than I was actually laughing at Ellie's jokes.
I was laughing at RuPaul laughing.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's easy to get caught up in the fact that I thought I was laughing at Ellie, but I think I was laughing at the awkwardness of it all when you really don't know how to react.
Yep.
You almost just laugh out of like, what the fuck is going on?
Oh, fucking hell, excuse me. It's happening here.
What the fucking hell, excuse me, has happened here?
But we did want to see Bimini.
Yes, we did.
Bimini was obviously the funniest. I don't think we disagree on that.
No, yeah, Bimini, top.
But I still don't think, even though Bimini was the funniest of the pack, I still don't think it was that funny.
No,
I agree
it
with
got
that.
to get to the joke. When we heard the first, like, not a joke, just a fact, it was like, And then by the end of it, when the not a joke, just a fact happened, I mean, I phrased it in this episode, it's definitely something that catched on, but it took a while to get to there.
No, I kind of almost disagree with that. I think the rest of them started out strong and it all petered down and the joke got lost. But Bimini gradually got better and better as the set went on. But really, as you said, I don't think Bimini was amazing. But after the previous two, all you wanted to be was in safe hands. And with Bimini, you were just, it was like being cradled.
Yeah.
It was safe. And in this challenge, that's all it needed to be. So the fourth person on was Laura. Oh!
Coronavirus.
Well, you didn't quite. Oh! Oh, it's all falling apart.
Lawrence Chaney is next to the stage. I think we were all expecting good things from Lawrence. Are we the first to say Lawrence bombed it? Lawrence sucked shit.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think Lawrence, the way Lawrence started off was the best of the night. If Lawrence could have kept going how he started, I really laughed at the turning the elephant into room to the camel toe.
Yeah.
And I thought Lawrence came in with instead of the large and in charge, sort of really came on being Lawrence, and which is why it worked. But it got lost.
And I was expecting a lot more, I think.
Oh, of course, it's the expectation, isn't it?
Which is why I was so disappointed, because
This should have been Lawrence's win.
this should have been, and Lawrence, I think Lawrence knew that himself.
So yeah, I really enjoyed how Lawrence started off really good. And again, pretty much like you said, it just kind of went. The joke line, I mean, I laughed when Alan was like, you had to get the megabus. I mean, the megabus ain't that expensive, so that's fine. But you had to get the megabus to get to the joke.
So yeah, what do you think of Taste?
Taste was really fun. I think people kind of had low expectations for Taste. Do you agree? Do we think we all thought Taste? Oh great, Taste is not a comedy queen, so let's strap ourselves in. We've seen other look queens as well. Very pheromone being like, and seductively talking about beans and toast, and they made sure they let you know about their beans and toast, how it's cooked, what it's served with, the additional
Ketchup. Ugh.
Now,
beans are already in tomato sauce.
well, this is it. We've had this discussion before, but like, would you add sauce with your beans?
Yeah,
No.
but not ketchup. I do with toast, obviously, 2 white buttered toast slices.
Delicious.
Beans, gotta do it on the hob though, not in the microwave. The beans are just better that way.
Absolutely.
I pepper in the beans while they're cooking.
Yeah.
Then I put the beans on top, butter bread, more pepper,
Yeah.
cheddar cheese,
Yeah.
mayonnaise, hot sauce. It was fine. It was better than I maybe expected. It wasn't up to obviously the standards of what Bimini had given us, but I was very pleasantly surprised.
Love the delivery joke. Absolutely love the
Love
delivery
that.
chat
Oh,
joke.
you know.
The
I'm
grinding
not-
on the stage about the beans on toast.
And that started off really strong, but then it got to be like, well, that's a joke for another time. And that's a joke for another time.
Yeah.
And that's a joke for another time.
Oh,
It was very
yeah.
like Bookers in Birmingham when they consider Alesha Tryed. Maybe another time. Maybe next time.
CoverGirl, it's time to put the bass in that walk
Mm-hmm.
because it's time for the runway, and this week's runway theme is Stoned on the Runway.
Stoned on the runway.
Dripping in diamonds.
Diamonds.
And first on the runway, dripping in something, is a horror.
Yes.
What do you think?
So yeah, horrors. I really liked it. I really liked the incorporation of the ivy drip in diamonds.
Please welcome to the stage,
Ivy Drip!
But when I'm thinking dripping in diamonds, I'm thinking literally. I mean, maybe I'm just very literal with how I think, but I'm thinking literally dripping in diamonds. And it was like, there was some diamonds dripping on the ivy drip. There was some on her.
I thought it was fine. It was a successful go at the theme of dripping
Yeah.
in diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the theme of itself was a bit basic. We've seen the kind of patient, the ivy, the thing, all that before.
Yeah.
It was a nice twist on it. There was a lot more diamonds than some girls on the runway. I think it was a very successful week for a horror on the runway.
As a whole, I very much liked this. It wasn't a horror's best, but also was in no way a complete fail. Like I did really like it.
Yeah.
This was a big success for me. I like this a lot. So next down the runway was a theme made just for her. It was the Diamond, Ellie Diamond.
Ellie Diamond.
What were you feeling about this?
I think, obviously, the name Ellie Diamond, you know, I'm like, okay, here we go, dripping in diamonds, I'm ready.
Be honest.
No, I will say it was nice, it was cute. And I think cute for episode 8 isn't going to cut it.
You did 10 thingies on the skirt and called it a day. To me, it was kind of, it read as almost, if your local club had a winter theme night,
Yes.
you might wear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of it came across very wintry.
It gave me skater.
There's
It's
nothing
not
wrong.
breaking boundaries. Ellie, you look fantastic at this point. Again, I just want more. So I'm not critiquing what you look like. You look fantastic, but I want to take it from a 7 to a 9 or a 10.
Before we go to the next one, if you were given the theme Stoned on the Runway, what would you wear?
I would wear a green emerald dress and I'd pull up to the stoned kind of thing. I'd have like red contacts and I'd be doing very Lagrange, very like...
So you're giving us.
Oh, you would,
Yeah.
don't do that.
I would like...
Mommy, you fully air sucked. We don't endorse drug use on this channel, we're not. Let's get into popping those sits and feeding the children.
Mini bomb boulash.
I think I'm going to have the moment that you had with the Iris and Herpen dress the other week, in that
Right.
I love the concept. There was just something that wasn't fully executed for me. I love the blazer. I wish there was something underneath it that excited me. It felt like the blazer was the standalone piece,
Okay.
and there wasn't. I wanted something more than a roll neck underneath, but I thought the concept was very playful, and I enjoyed that she didn't just take it down a standard, just like dripping route.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I think it was quite good for the judges to recognise that this was something out of the box. It wasn't something that was quite conventional when it comes to dripping in diamonds.
Yeah.
You know, the Bimini took the assignment and created something of their own. I did think the Shirley from EastEnders wig was a moment.
Love show.
I've got my greasy Shirley from EastEnders wig on.
Which is great, but maybe not for this runway.
But I think it was fashion, and like we said, I really liked the look. I liked it a lot. The hair worked, and I think it was very successful.
And so moving on from Zitty Bimini to the gayest meteorite in the world, it is Lawrence Chaney.
Come on, Patrick Starr. That's all I have to say.
That was
Patrick
great,
Starr in those high heels, jumping across.
I have to say, I think this is actually my favourite look of the week.
Yeah.
It really pushed Lawrence out of the comfort zone that we're getting of the silhouette that we were getting a bit sick of. We kind of clocked him on the prehistoric wig for just going for the bare minimum.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Just wearing a tiger print gown and being a bit, you know, plain and simple by it. This was really out of the box.
I do think it is something quite clever to pull out this sort of silhouette going into the later stage of the competition. It kind of shows that, you know, that diversity, that like, I'm not just this queen, I've got other looks as well. And yeah, looked fantastic.
I agree.
Yeah, great.
And on to the very last look of the week, sheer beauty coming from Taste.
Can I start by saying, Taste posted this look on social media. It somehow looked better on TV.
I remember in week 2 when everyone was talking about her memory look, and everyone was like, this is the best look of all time, she looks amazing. I think this was better, but the mug, oh my god,
know.
fuck me sideways.
The one thing I did not like about Tacey's garment was the fact that the tights did not match her skin.
I agree with this. I was thinking the exact same thing. This is an issue I'm having with Taste still this late in the game, is that the actual garments
Gorgeous.
are not really nice, but there's always, you can either see like a pant or you can see the tights, and it looks a bit incomplete.
Yeah, and I think that was an oversight when creating the outfit. It was kind of like, I'm going to need to wear tights for this outfit, so maybe we should put something around the waistband, or maybe we should create something that, like a panel that is more opaque, that hides the middle section. Just something like that would have really boosted that outfit up, because I could do with the legs being a different colour as long as they were hidden here.
Yeah, I think it was cute. Like I said, the tights definitely were kind of standing out for me for the wrong reasons, but mug, hair, always on point as always.
Oh, the mug and the hair. Ooh.
Can't
And
complain.
the garment itself was nice.
It was really nice.
Yeah.
I just would like I said, the panel maybe that blended.
So let's head to Untucked for the week, where we continue. Honestly, this feels like it's been going on for the entire episode, just like the shitting on Ellie.
But this
part
time they're
5
mad.
of the remix, but
They're
now
mad.
the volume has been turned up to 100. Horror's pissed.
It's been turned up to a horror.
Yeah.
Oh, I said I can barely even look at you, Ellie. I'm so annoyed and pissed off at you.
I haven't looked at you all day, and then he was like, we've been new.
Yeah, Ellie was like, duh, I've got
noticed.
fucking eyes, bitch.
Yeah.
Look, Ahura was upset because she knew she was going to be in the bottom and it hadn't worked for her again. Insecurity speaking.
Sister. Same kind of vibe.
Yeah.
It was very that vibe. It was the Lawrence thing was surprising because Lawrence by this point had had pretty good critiques for their runway and still seemed really angry.
Yeah, I do think that outside of this competition, Ellie and Lawrence are very close connected queens, and I think there's almost like a portrayal. Almost Lawrence is hoping that she can like lean on Ellie a little bit and kind of use Ellie as a bit of a wing woman.
I think that's what it is, because I don't know if they're like necessarily the best of friends. Dundee's on the opposite side to Glasgow of Scotland, but I do think that Ellie and Lawrence kind of saw solidarity in each other.
being the two Scots queens versus the London queens.
Yes, and Lawrence is kind of like, well, we saw it at the start of the episode when they were like, Queen Scotland. But I think that Lawrence needs to remember that she's not been driving that bus for Ellie all along either.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. See, I agree with what you're saying, but I think it even goes a step further in that I don't think Lawrence thinks of Ellie being cool. And I keep thinking of these conversations that Lawrence has had where he was bullied and was never considered as cool. And I feel like Taste, Ahura and Bimini are the cool girls.
Lawrence
And I think Lawrence kind of wants to be accepted by that group.
Yeah.
And coming down hard on Ellie, who maybe is also the uncool one, it's almost like Lawrence trying to ask, like, look, Ahura, I don't like that you got put first. Like, accept me. But I never like to take a serious spin on this show, because we try and make everything lighthearted.
Yes, of course.
But I would also like to add in that I am so sick of seeing Drag Race girls being driven off Twitter by the ridiculous attitudes of the fandom.
Yeah.
This fandom will not be done until they have killed one of these Drag Race girls through the constant hatred. We've seen it before on previous reality shows like Love Island and stuff like that. You can give critique. Look, we're critiquing these girls, but all 5 of these girls are incredibly talented.
Absolutely.
And they are under. We
love them, we support them.
And we've acknowledged several times that this is a pressure cooker of a show. Like,
and people
if
think,
you don't like someone, you do not have to DM Lawrence telling him that you think he is a fat cunt.
People think because they're drag queens they can take it. Yeah, because it's playful shape. No, it's not.
Oh, because you're on this TV, you can do it. And I think if somebody puts themselves on a TV environment, yes, they do open themselves to critiques.
Absolutely, which is fair.
We are a review show, so
critique is always okay.
And we're reviewing the TV show and how it plays out. But these people are real. They go home to real lives. Behind the makeup, behind the wigs, they are a real person sitting at home and getting the DMs. And people think, because this person has XYZ, K, million, whatever followers, they will never see my hateful comment. They do.
They will.
They will.
But let's go back to the main stage on a lighter note, because our winner of the week is Ms. Bimini Bon Boulash.
Ms. Bimini Bon Boulash. At this point, Bimini is definitely like top tier.
Yep.
I remember you saying like seeing Bimini in the final, and before the COVID break, I was like, now if Bimini's not in top 3, there's confusion, delusion, all of the above.
What would your bottom 2 have been? I'm going to start with you.
I would have had Ellie and Ahura, I think.
The 2 people with the least jokes were Ahura and Ellie, so it has to be them.
Yeah. Like I said, the Ellie was funny, but that was the one I saw. I was like, okay, Ellie and Ahura.
It's Ahura and taste, which we don't agree with, but hey, that's the cards we've been dealt.
Yes.
So this week we have Dusty Springfield, You Don't Have to Say You Love Me.
What a gorgeous song.
Yeah.
Gorgeous song. Obviously, I have been vocal in the past about not enjoying
8 episodes in?
all of the older songs, but last week I learnt my lesson, because there is nothing dustier than Jess Glynn.
Yeah. I would have kept them both.
I wish that would have been my absolute. But
yeah,
I do think they were both amazing, but I couldn't pick a winner.
Yeah.
Yes,
they were. It was so split, which is a real credit to Ahura, because I know that Ahura doesn't perform all that much, and Taste to me is the performer of London.
Ahura gave me emotion.
And Ahura gave me real emotion, and I think she had that real emotion because she was
scared
against her friend.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have slightly nitpicked at, if we're having to pick why Taste won, I wish Ahura spent a bit less time at the back of the stage, because it only allowed us to focus on Taste at the front.
We do agree with Taste winning then?
Yes.
I mean, I personally, I would have them both.
By a fraction.
Yeah.
But if I could have had that outcome, I would, because these... I mean, Ahura's been amazing for me.
Yeah, I mean, we're sadly saying goodbye this week to my
Is
previous
this-
arch nemesis. Not anymore. We had the beef, squashed it, mama.
I do think Ahura has been on a journey, and I do like a queen that's been on a bit of a journey, a megabus journey.
Oh, is that what this week's been on? A journey?
This week's been on a journey, I've been on a journey.
It is
But
my week.
Out the bag, onto the head. From episode 4 onwards, I think Ahura hasn't had a bad week until this week.
I agree.
yeah.
This is the first time she's fallen, and it's a real shame.
And a fall from grace as well, because of coming back off a really, really
A
good
win.
win. A
Yeah.
really good week for Ahura last
I
week.
think Ahura was a finalist, and
Yeah.
I feel really sad that she's not there. I don't know if she was necessarily a winner, but a finalist for sure.
Yeah.
So that leaves us at the final 4, our next episode.
Final 4. Oh my god! So obviously next week we have Beast Enders.
With Natalie Cassidy. Just doing this now. Just taking the bins out. Opening in the fridge.
An iconic moment.
It was very,
Probably in my
very
favourite.
iconic, very stunning. Yes, that's happening.
We are finished,
We are
and that
finished
takes
that
us to the
episode.
end of episode 8. So if you've really enjoyed this episode, please feel free to give us a like, subscribe, and comment.
Yeah.
We did hit 100 subscribers
We
this
hit
week.
100 subscribers!
So, thank you so much,
Thank you.
because this is really more than we ever expected. And also follow us on Instagram at 2.5 Queens because we're still going there. We'll be going right until
We've
the
got
end.
a cute little profile at the moment. We're posting all of
have,
our
and
looks
if you
every week.
Keep your eyes peeled. We may have more than just Drag Race UK around the corner. But that's it for us, and we'll see you next week with just 4 queens left.
We're getting down to
We're
it now.
ready to get our beast enders going. So doom, 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 doom. Good night.
Bye.